friends, I am Chrissy Lou and today I'm going to be talking about where I buy my manga. This is a question I get like surprisingly a lot, and I really didn't think that I needed to like make a video on this, but I feel like I get asked like, where do you buy your manga? Like more often than I thought would be not necessary, but just more often than I thought would actually happen. So I felt like I would make a video to talk about all of the places that I go to buy manga, because I do source my manga from several different places. So just to preface this all comes from somebody who lives in the US. So unfortunately, anything that I talk about in this video, I am not 100% sure if they are available in countries that are not the United States, but I feel like some of these there are definitely like alternatives, or like your country might have a version of this. Please note that this is coming from somebody who lives in the United States, so my experiences with purchasing manga may be different than yours. The number one place that I buy manga is just from traditional bookstores. The place that I go the most is Barnes & Noble, which is a very large bookstore. I used to work at a Barnes & Noble, so it's very widespread around the US. There's also Books A Million, which is like also kind of popular. I don't really shop there that much. A lot of the times when I want to go in store, Barnes & Noble has a much better selection than Books A Million, at least for the ones by me, because for me, Barnes & Noble is like a huge store, and the closest Books A Million to me is like a small shop in the mall, so I definitely prefer Barnes & Noble. One of the things that I love about Barnes & Noble is they often have sales on their manga, and it's often a buy two get one free manga sale. So sometimes it's on all manga, sometimes it's like publisher specific, but they run this sale like several times a year and it is the best. Just a tip for shopping at Barnes & Noble for buy two get one free, they will give you the cheaper one for free. For example, I'm trying to collect all of the Sailor Moon like Eternal editions, and those are like almost $30 each. So if I get the buy two get one free sale, and I get two of the Sailor Moons and then like one of a regular one, they're gonna give me like the other manga for free. If you want to get expensive manga for free, I would do separate transactions. So I put all of your expensive stuff in one transaction and then the rest in another transaction. Just a little tip. Yeah, traditional bookstores are like your physical bookstores are really good ways to get new releases and to kind of keep up with like stuff that is really popular. And a lot of the times you can get like special editions there and stuff like that. You can get them online or in store. Personally, my go-to for shopping for manga in store for newer stuff is to go to a Barnes & Noble. The second place that I go to buy manga is secondhand stores. So I have a large secondhand bookstore near me, and it's kind of like a chain, and it's got like a bunch of stuff. It doesn't have just books, it's got like games and toys and DVDs and stuff like that, but it's mostly books. But I go there to find kind of older manga. So for example, at my secondhand store, I got like pretty much all of Tokyo Babylon for like super cheap. I think there was only one volume missing, which I found later, but that's a really good way to find kind of like cheaper older manga. It may not be in the best condition, but it's not gonna be like super messed up, because then they can't sell it and like the price is like dependent on the condition and stuff like that. But if you're looking for something older, then secondhand shops are really good. I found a lot of the like first printing of Fushigi Yugi in the US, like where it's like flipped, and I am so tempted to buy it just because it's super nostalgic to me, because that's how I originally read it, but not so sure about the translation. Do I really want flipped manga? I don't know. But yeah, so secondhand stores are also really good for that. Going off of secondhand manga also, sometimes I'll also use sites like thrift books if I'm trying to find older manga. I use this when I'm trying to get volumes of the original run of Cardcaptor Sakura because they are sometimes overpriced and stuff like that. So things like thrift books and half-price books too online are good ways to get kind of used older manga that you may be like trying to find to fill out your collection. Third place at the fourth place that I buy manga is at anime conventions. So in a world where we don't have a global pandemic, I go to a lot of anime conventions and they are a really good place to buy manga. Most retailers are going to have kind of like newer stuff, but a lot of them do have a lot of really older stuff. And like at Katsucon, which is the last convention I attended, there was one retailer that had all of Boys Over Flowers, and I'm like still kicking myself that I did not purchase it. I mean, it's a lot of manga, but I still really want it. But a lot of the times these anime conventions have deals, so there was one vendor that I went to where they had like a 10 for $20 sale, so you get 10 volumes of manga for 20 bucks, which was a steal. It's only like $2 a volume of manga, which is the best. So I took advantage of that. Also at anime conventions, they're normally discounted, and also you can kind of like negotiate prices a little bit, especially if it's on Sunday, because the vendors want to get rid of their stock. They don't want to bring so much back. They want to sell their stuff. So I mean, I haven't done this, but I've heard of people doing it where they kind of negotiate the price a little bit, and I feel like maybe if you do something like buy all of Boys Over Flowers, you could be like, hey, could you give this to me a little cheaper because I'm buying all of this? But yeah, so anime conventions are a good way to get manga. And number five is gonna be online retailers, and these are places that are like just online. I did mention like half-price books and thrift books before too, and those are definitely options, but there's also places like RightStuf Anime, which is like one of my new favorites. So fun fact about RightStuf Anime, when I was a young weeb, my dad brought home like some sort of like catalog for RightStuf with like all of their anime in it, and I would just like read through this catalog with all the descriptions of different animes, which is I think why I know I'm like aware of what a lot of older animes are, but I haven't seen them before. It's just because I read the synopsis of all of them in this RightStuf catalog. So it was all like black and white too. It was like my favorite thing as a young weeb. The website for RightStuf is super great. You can find tons of great manga on there, and they're always having some sort of sale. It might be like, I feel like every week or every few weeks they have a publisher specific sale, so it'll be like all Viz manga is on sale for so much % off, or Yen Press or Kodansha or something like that. RightStuf is really good to check out. I would just a precaution, I would avoid, if you make a purchase, if you pre-order several different things in one order and they all don't come out on the same day, I would advise against that, because they kind of hold your order until that thing is released. So if you order like 2 volumes of manga that are already on sale or already like out, and then you add a pre-order to that, they're not going to send your 2 volumes of manga until the pre-order is released. So do your pre-orders in separate transactions and then get the stuff that you want now like separately. Just a tip, because for some reason they hold your whole order for the pre-orders, and it's very annoying. Yeah, RightStuf is definitely one of my favorites. I have an affiliate link down below, so if you want to go and like use that and buy anything, then like I get a little bit of a commission. This video is not sponsored by them at all. I didn't get paid to say any of this. I just have an affiliate link. I just get a small commission if you make a purchase, but just so you know that's there. Great way to support me. Just saying. Now we're going to jump into digital manga. So digital manga is something that I have been recently kind of like diving into lately. I didn't really kind of read much digital manga, but I am reading more of it now. I found some series that I really like that are digital only, so I want to support those series. So I am reading more digital manga. So number one is going to be Amazon or Comixology. This you just buy, it's like buying an ebook, so you just purchase it on there and you can read it either like on your Kindle or the Comixology app, either one. It's really great for digital only titles. My current favorite digital only title is Ran the Peerless Beauty, so definitely get that one because it's a very good shoujo manga. So digital purchasing manga in this way is really great because, especially if you like shoujo, because I feel like there's a lot of shoujo manga that is digital only and they don't print it that much, and it's Amazon and Comixology are really great resources too. The other thing that I use for digital manga is Kindle Unlimited. So this is a subscription service. You don't actually own any of this stuff on here. It's just kind of like Netflix for books on Amazon. So they have a really good manga selection, and it's really great for maybe series that you're not super sure on that they have on there, or maybe something that's really long. Then you can go and just read it on Kindle Unlimited, something maybe you're not necessarily super into, but you kind of want to see how it ends. Or if you just like don't have the money to buy a bunch of manga every month, you can just pay the subscription fee, which I can't remember it is. I'll put it down. You'll see it if I remember to put it in. But yeah, so Kindle Unlimited is really great. You can read as much as you want every month, and it's really cool. You'll find a lot of kind of like the spicier manga on there, and there's a lot of really old stuff on there too, which is cool. So one thing that I noticed with some series on here is that they might not be 100% legit, some of them. There's definitely one series, I don't remember what it was, where like some of the images they're like scanlations, so they're like pirated copies of it, and they're like uploaded onto Kindle Unlimited, which I don't know how that happened, but please be aware of that, and if you see anything like that, like report it, because that is not cool. So yeah, just be a little bit aware of that when you like dive deep into the depths of the Kindle Unlimited. Number 4 is a service that I don't really use, but there's a thing called Bookwalker, and it's kind of like a digital library of sorts, and you can purchase manga on there. I think this is really good if you want to purchase manga in Japanese, because I don't think they have like a separate store. I think you can buy Japanese digital manga on Bookwalker. I personally haven't done it, but I just wanted to mention it so that you were aware. Number 4 and the last one is going to be Shonen Jump Unlimited, and this, my middle school self is quaking, okay? Shonen Jump Unlimited is the best thing I've ever seen. So for $2 a month, $2, you get access to their entire Shonen Jump library. So this is like thousands of series, hundreds upon hundreds of chapters of shonen manga for $2 a month. Like, what? You also get like up-to-date chapters. Like a lot of the newer chapters, especially for the popular series, are released the same day that they are in Japan, and like my mind is blown. And the price is just like, it shouldn't be $2 a month, but it is. And like, if I had this as a middle schooler, I would have been like over the moon. So in middle school, I begged my parents to let me to subscribe to the Shonen Jump manga magazine when it was first released in the US. Like I used to have the very first issue that they released. That was like my real gateway into like manga, is I read Yu-Gi-Oh! And Naruto and Shaman King and One Piece, like from the get-go, from the Shonen Jump magazine. So like having this digital library of all of the shonen manga is amazing to me. Now I'm personally not a shonen reader, so but I do like a lot of things. Like I really like My Hero Academia, and it's not really something I'm interested in collecting because there's so much of it. There's already like 20 volumes and I'm not like that into it, you know, but I do want to know what's going on. So having something like Shonen Jump Unlimited where you get up-to-date chapters and you could just access it like whenever you want as long as you're paying for it, then like that's really great for things you're not super invested in, or things you really like but you're not really interested in like collecting it because you don't want to like put in the time and money to collect it. I don't know, but it's just, it's so good. And I'm like so glad that this thing exists. I'm just gonna say, like, why are you pirating manga? Like, if you can pay $2 a month for manga, like, what are you doing? If you don't have Shonen Jump Unlimited, what are you doing really with your life? Because you're just missing out on this incredible library of manga for super, super cheap. I know that if this had existed when I was a middle schooler, it would have been way easier to convince my parents for me to get manga than subscribing to that magazine. Shonen Jump Unlimited is a great resource if you want to read shonen manga. Unfortunately, something like that doesn't exist for shoujo manga, but I feel like I wouldn't want to because shoujo manga already has such a hard time like getting things actually published that maybe it's not a great idea, but one can dream. That is pretty much everywhere that I purchase my manga, so have at it, I guess. I will leave links to all of like the specific websites that I mentioned, just so you know like where you can go to buy them. Let me know in the comments what your favorite place to buy manga is. I'd be interested to know if there are any other resources that I did not mention, but of course these are the ones that I use most often, so there's definitely other ones, but whatever. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more manga, bookish, and nerdy content from me. That is all I've got for you guys today. I'm Chrissy Lou. Till next time, matane!